Hello, my name is Caroline Nielsen. I'm a lecturer here in History and Heritage at the University of Northampton, and I'd like to talk to you today about my third year module, Death and Bereavement in Britain, 1500 to 1914. So why study death? It's the ultimate aspect of human reality. Everyone sadly experiences death and the pain of grief and bereavement. Studying how people responded to this basic fundamental reality can offer us unique insight into the past. We can use it to look at areas as diverse as religious belief, the history of family and childhood, to things like the history of crime and punishment. So most people are very familiar with the Victorian so-called cult of death, with its very ritualised fashions and ritualised modes of behaviour. This approach may seem very alien to us, but we have actually inherited many aspects of it in contemporary culture. The Edwardian and Victorian way of dealing with death was actually based on far older traditions as well, which we look at through this module. So although this is a social history module, we'll use things like printed sources, letters and diaries. We'll also draw on a range of physical evidence, such as archaeological finds, design and things like jewellery. So through this module, we'll start looking at things like mortality rates, so we can get a sense of what people's experience actually was. So what did they die of? How frequently did people experience death? And how frequent are things like plague years? We then look more at the social and cultural aspects. So how did people prepare themselves religiously for death? How did they deal with things like the physicality of the corpse? What were their beliefs about the dead body and things like ghosts? And how did they respond to death on an economic level? So how did society feel to things like inheritance and the ideas of a successor? So through this module, we'll look at the history of this subject, but we'll also talk about how we've inherited our attitudes towards death. I look forward to seeing you on this module.